part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. I am your host, Damon Royster, and today, did you think we forget? No, we're back talking about more X-Men 97. And today we're talking about episode 2 of X-Men 97 entitled Mutant Liberation Begins, aka Magneto's Cold Shoulder. Joining me today, I have two wonderful guests, two wonderful little nuggets of people I can't get enough of. My first guest is a returnee. Heard earlier this year talking about Marvel's What If Season 2. This person, they are working on being a writer, they're a comedian, and you can listen to their certified cinephile podcast really anytime, but the official stream happens every Tuesday at 4 p.m. PT on YouTube. I'm, of course, talking about the mustachioed man himself, one of the mustachioed man himself, William Woods.
Oh, wow.
What's up, William?
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm going to be real. I did beg you to be on this.
He did.
I'm so happy that it finally, all of my my bouquets and edible arrangements really paid off. So,
well, you know, William, I love the way you pronounce bouquet, and you terrify me to no end. So I can't say no to you.
I love X-Men. I love X-Men. I love it.
I love it too. William, this is the place to be. We have a second guest though. First time on the podcast. Given 24 hours notice to be on this podcast. I am thrilled that they are there. One of my favorite people to disagree with about anything related to media. So I can't wait to see what happens today. But a little bit more about this person. They are a soft shirt wearer, friend, a Chicago socialite, and dare I say the Gambit of Chicago, Bradley Johnson. Welcome.
I am so delighted to be here, Damon. Laissez le bon temps rouler.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that, listener? We have an authentic Louisianian joining us to discuss X-Men, which has their own Louisianian. That's actually first question. Brad Johnson, Gambit, how accurate is he to Louisiana? Is it authentic, or do you feel like it's a mask?
Don't nobody talk like that down there.
You mean to tell me nobody talking like the Gambit in the bayou down there in the Creole, sipping on their gumbo and jambalaya with the rice and the beans with the Popeyes? Is that not true?
Yes, honestly,
Watching,
shoot. I don't often see myself on screen, so to see Gambit and X-Men 97, it's just like looking into a mirror. It's like seeing myself, my father, my family, my mother, my mayor, my governor.
Not the mayor.
Wow.
Okay, man.
Yes, we're always just, all of us talk like that. We're always, casually deep frying beignets in our kitchen in a crop top. It's truly the Louisiana experience.
And here it is in this little cartoon. Okay, let's go to William Woods.
I'm so excited to talk about this. Brad,
please.
I too have history with Brad of him having very polar opposite opinions on media with me from, art to music. And every single time I truly have conceded every single time because he's so smart. His opinions end up always being correct. And I always have to come back to him and say like, I really thought about this and you're right about that. Like Toy Story 2 is a good sequel, So I'm excited to see his opinion on this. And yeah.
When it comes to music, Brad has one of the best music tastes I've ever seen in a person. You actually both, this is such a sidebar and I don't want to antagonize you and pitch you against each other, but I was asking for album suggestions and you both gave me suggestions and I did. William, you gave me one that did, you said it would scare me and it did and I turned it off. I could not finish it.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
Brad gave me very, very nice ones that I still keep close to my heart. And
Damon had never heard Who Let the Dogs Out, and it changed his life.
Who are the Baja Boys or the Baja Men? Which was it? incredible.
Just depends on when
The Baja
whatever
Blast?
album you visit. They are a Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. But we're here to talk about X-Men 97, William Woods. What has the show been? What has it been like watching for you? Have you been enjoying X-Men 97?
I feel like I can't blink when I watch this show. My eyes are wide open. I've rewatched. I just can't stop it. It truly is magnificent. I do think that they took a more mature sort of like, oh, adults might watch this take to the original series because it isn't as action packed as my previous memory of being 7 years old watching this show. And it's dealing with some really hard stuff. It's dealing with like you really I really do feel the sort of the metaphors going on. Are they metaphors?
They are. Yes, absolutely. They're absolutely metaphors. And like they've always been there, but I think they've done a really nice job of like tuning it to a 2024 dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think people could throw the word woke on it, but I would say it goes so far beyond woke. It not only celebrates it, but it's not like Velma Scooby Doo where it's just like this is supposed to be funny, and it's like, yeah, look, we've heard these jokes a million times before. I think it is the current climate. It is what our reality is. And honestly, it's so LA.
So LA. One quick thing. I just want to put this out there. Whenever I hear the word woke, I'm just going to say woke is a word invented by the people who don't like woke. Like it's a goofy word.
It is such a goofy word.
And it's like propagated by conservatives to make you feel silly for feeling these feelings. Like only people, no one who is quote unquote woke would say something is woke. You know what I mean? Like it's
for sure.
It's a trap.
That's also, I'm sorry, jumping in on the wokeness because that cracks my shit up. The people who say that X-Men got woke. I'm like, X-Men is literally the definition of woke. Like, who is watching X-Men and being like, oh, well, it went woke. What comics were you reading?
The
What
literal
show
bad
were you
guys.
watching? Like, how did you not get the message of X-Men? Like, it's insane to me. I'm like, the point where I went down a wormhole being like, are these people parody? Is this satire? Who is being like, oh, can't watch X-Men anymore because it's woke now? What?
Yeah.
How? No. Far too political.
I had a roommate in college that is a perfect example, and I'll call her out. Her name was Steph, and she was hilarious because she had a problem with us watching Family Guy for the very reason this predates the word woke, and she's just like, I just don't get this humor. And then she was like, it should be funny like Minions. And then she just started to laugh to herself hysterically over Minions. So those are the people that are that are watching X-Men.
Okay, that's not ever a bad note. This should be funny like Minions. Honestly, one of the best notes I've ever heard in my life. Apply that to everything.
Yeah. And she just had a mini fridge full of Hypnotic. Have you guys drank Hypnotic before?
I've only heard about it in rap songs.
That's insane.
It just tastes like it's the weirdest. I mean, she only let me ever have one sip because she hoarded that stuff. But yeah, it's pretty tasty, but it's a guaranteed headache for sure.
Yes. Another guaranteed headache I feel is when you're on a Ferris wheel that's collapsing. Guaranteed a headache when that happens. But thankfully,
so scary.
Mr. Magneto comes through to save the day. Brad Johnson, what is up with Magneto's costume? What has happened? Can you describe what it looks like in your own words?
It's a new choice. He's like he's like turned over. It's kind of like when Nelly Furtado came out with Promiscuous, and she's like, I have a new look now. This is Magneto in his working with Timbaland pop girly era.
That is absolutely correct. This is Man-Eater.
You could not describe it better. You truly could not describe that better. That is absolutely perfect.
I did have the thought rewatching this episode that I'm like, did he just have that other costume in case of becoming in case of an emergency of a new
He's like, am I throwing the M on? Or am I good?
Ditching the helmet, letting the locks fly, throwing the M on the chest. Sleeves? I mean, full arm. Would you call those full arm sleeves?
So they are sleeves. I believe it's gloves too. It's sleeves, and I
Yeah.
believe this. Shout out to well, I don't think she listens. I worked at a law firm, and there was this paralegal there who had a similar outfit like Magneto's, not with the cape, but with the exposed shoulder, and that's when I learned that is called the cold shoulder because your
Oh.
shoulders are exposed.
Mm.
So Magneto is rocking a cold shoulder
Yes.
forever, it seems.
Yes.
So Magneto is like, so he inherited the X-Men from Charles Xavier, as previously seen in episode 1. William Woods, would you trust this if Magneto's like, hey, I'm your boss now?
Oh God, no, not at all. Are you kidding me? This man has been enemy number one. He
Hmm.
scares the crap out of me. He can literally take Wolverine's bones and collapse them. Wolverine doesn't have a choice at this point. I would just I'd get on my hog and I'd run back to Canada if I was
Yeah,
him. You got to listen to
because
this guy. You tell me I'm going to believe that this guy's like, yep, Charles Xavier's dead, and I'm going to be good now.
but it looks like Magneto is turning over a new leaf. We get the scene where he saves the Morlocks. Did we remember the Morlocks? Do we remember
Yeah,
these
absolutely.
dang ass freaks? These
Yeah,
little
living in the
sewer rat.
sewers. Yeah.
If you're new to X-Men 97 and you're listening to this podcast, God bless you. But like, I don't know, the Morlocks, I just think it's great. They're too dangerous for regular society, so they have to live in the sewers. Magneto saves them from, I would say, the most evilest blonde white woman ever portrayed in a cartoon. My God.
Yeah, she's that.
Just her.
Remember the lawyers? They had mustard on their shirts and they had like they were pointing guns at the protesters, the
Mhm.
Antifa protesters. That's who that lady was in my mind. I'm like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is that weird lawyer with the mustard on her shirt.
With the
Oh,
berets they all hand out.
yeah.
Oh, my God. Brad Johnson, can you, spoiler free, go into your feelings about Rogue and Magneto, which seemed, I think something happened between them.
Yeah, it seems like there's a history there, but she doesn't want anybody to know. She's
Hmm.
saying, please keep this hush hush. And he's kind of like vaguely threatening her with, what if your friends knew about us? And apparently there's some sort of, yeah, it's very sneaky. There's a lot of sneaking,
A
a
lot of
lot of
sneaking going
tiptoeing
around.
in the X Mansion.
A lot of sneaky links
I
in the
need
X
I
Mansion
had
these days.
I really need to know your guys' thoughts on this because obviously something happens in is it Charles Xavier's study? And they touch. We see them touch,
You see them
but
touch.
and then we do see Gambit knows what's up. His kinetic cards are falling from his hands.
Oh, ma chérie.
Yeah. Do you
Pas
think that they
terrible.
did more in that study? Do you think that they did more in that study?
I I think we are led to believe that Gambit stayed outside a long time while they were in that
Mm.
study, touching away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you think they smushed?
I think they smushed. I think this is a very risque cartoon that
Wow.
is on Disney Plus, but I don't think you should watch this with your family. I
This
mean, you could, but
I have to
you
say
have to do
that
a lot of debriefing.
that's heartbreaking for me. At this point in time, I am so heartbroken. I feel like I was cheated on.
Ah,
But at this point, is Gambit and because I know Gambit and Rogue they've done stuff, right? They've smushed.
Mm.
Are they in a
There's the
smushing
physical
thing?
barrier. So that's the thing is like when she has the
mhm.
opportunity, and like we all need our physical touch. When she has the opportunity to get that from somebody, even if it's maybe not the Cajun Dreamboat, like you gotta shoot your shot and take what you can get.
Oh, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
I don't blame her.
I understand.
like chemistry
But
can
this
only get you so far.
yeah, I mean, I don't want those limits, but if I was Gambit, I would say like let's keep the communication open. Like maybe now's not the best time while Magneto's bad guy, but maybe let me in on this but we don't even know if they're together. Has it been clarified if they're together? I don't know if it has.
I will say, episode 5, this conversation is had, but I so speaking, and we're spoiler free, listener. We're not gonna spoiler for you, don't worry. But like, I would say leading up to it from like the original series, it was just a lot of heavy flirtation. But there's just no way for Rogue to ever really do anything more
Oh,
than just flirt and have a gloved handhold with him.
yeah, she can get
Um,
it then. She can totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Bear hug
Yeah.
in a snowsuit?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how. Maybe we don't want to necessarily get into like all of this on the pod. Sorry, my dog be barking, but I do think that there's
I'll say.
proper protection out there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I'm just really thinking about it. I mean, you
No, I
really
know
can't
you're
help.
wearing your thinking face right now, so I know you are.
I'm
I think
imagining.
the technology certainly exists for a full body condom if that's where we're going.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We should reach out
I
to our
mean, I don't
Mormon
know that it
brethren.
exists. I don't know that you could just walk into a Target and get it today, but surely the technology exists.
Can't Jean Grey just like tap into? I guess we're only at
Jean.
episode 2. We don't know what Jean can't do, and she's she's got problems of her own. I mean, let's be real.
I mean, we can talk about Jean having a baby.
Well, yeah, and also, okay, Rogue at this point is a doctor that has. I mean, we're going to get to it, but she's at this point she has successfully birthed. I mean, she really showed up for her friend and handled the whole birthing process, which that's a lot of pressure. That's terrifying. Of course, she needs to get it. Of course, she needs to get it from Magneto at this point. I mean, what a day.
I'm sorry. Will, are you saying that because she delivered a baby, she needed a sexual release?
Yes.
Mm.
She's stressed. I mean, I would be stressed the F out.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you were saying because she was like, oh, I just delivered a baby and I can't have a baby. But you're saying it just was a very
No.
stressful day.
Just
Gotcha.
stressful day. I can't imagine showing up to the hospital being like, this doctor won't give me birth. We're going to get to it. Sorry. It was just, we were talking about that stuff in the study. And I'm just thinking, you know what? This makes me feel really bad for Gambit because I wish I was him. But in a lot of ways, there's a lot of sincerity there. And she really needs to take care of herself. And we don't know the whole story. So
we soon will. One thing I wanted to point out in that first study scene with Magneto and Rogue, which I thought was really sweet and kind of like aligns with my fan fiction, is that Magneto and Professor X are lovers. I thought it was really sweet when he was like talking about the helmet and like he kind of reframed the idea because Magneto had this helmet and it was always like, oh, it's so Charles couldn't read his mind. But in this episode, he was like, but it's also because Professor X's love for me would like, I would feel it from him. Like I would feel his presence in my mind and I would feel how much he cared for me and it would make it hard to murk these fucking humans.
That makes me want to cry. That makes me want to cry. And you think, do you think, okay, so do we think Magneto's bi? Can we put, yeah, for sure?
Yeah,
sure.
That's what I'm here. That's what I've, if you listen to any podcast 616 episode and Magneto and Charles, Michael can attest to this. This is what I'm here to do, push this agenda. Magneto and Professor X are lovers.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, what's he even doing with Rogue? What the hell is he even doing with Rogue at this point when, I mean, I
Charlie
guess
ain't around.
Charlie ain't
gone.
around.
And he's trying to get,
That's true.
A little rebound.
That is an interesting point. I get what Rogue is getting out of it. I think so.
Is that a thing?
I think that could be a thing. I think so. But that is interesting. I don't really know what Magneto sees in Rogue beyond just she's hot. I mean, like, don't come for me. Rogue's hot. I get it. I see the bodysuit.
Don't even get me started.
Hottest X-Men. Next to Iceman is Rogue. Other than that, Magneto sees some kind of kinship with her. Maybe because she's the most. Maybe it's oh God, I'm just pontificating. Maybe it's like a savior complex for Magneto. He's like, she's the one who needs my help the most, and aren't I the messiah of all mutants? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, did Jesus have sex with anybody? Did Jesus have sex with anybody? Brad, do you know this?
Yes, Nelly Furtado, after he saw the promiscuous video.
That's when it came. That Easter, he came back. That year, it's like, oh, I'm for sure coming back. We also get a little scene, I guess, we get a little Jean Storm scene. X-Men 97 is like, hey, these women are more than just their boyfriends.
Yeah.
This is where like Jean is like worried something bad's coming, and Storm kind of reveals, oh, I kind of, because Jean realized that she was hoping she would have a human baby, and Storm revealed that she also thought she might have been human. Brad Johnson, Bruce Market did research on all of my guests, and we found out you wrote your thesis statement about this scene for your grad program. Can you
A
expand upon it a
brilliant
little bit more?
thesis, by the way. Brilliant
Brilliant
thesis.
thesis. If you ever read a
Huge
thesis,
fan.
read Brad's thesis on this Storm Gene scene. If you could like share a little bit about your thoughts, that'd be great.
My thesis was that, Jean and Storm are girlies, and we love that. I don't think they got enough like girlies being girly time in like the
Mhm.
original series.
Yes.
So it's nice to see that. And also, I think my thesis famously argued that her wishing a certain status for her child is sort of like, wishing that your child won't be gay. Like, it's a parable for that sort of thing. And I
Yeah.
think that
Mm.
is what the analogy is in that situation.
Mm.
I argued
I see.
this thesis at Le Cordon Bleu, and they asked me to leave.
Wow. Did they feed you at least?
They did not.
Oh, cordon bleu, more like cordon no. Um, but outside of your thesis, Brad, did you enjoy this scene? Did you enjoy seeing the girls
Oh,
growing?
sure. No, I do legitimately love like I like seeing them being like we're so close, and I was like they know. I don't feel like maybe I'm just
Yeah.
misremembering because I was a mere child at the time, but like I don't think we got much of the personal relationships like in at least in the cartoon of the
Mhm.
90s.
Not
The
really.
main relationship. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Damon.
I just always assumed Storm and Rogue were girlies, but now I'm like thinking maybe it's just because they were both the flyers of the team. Like I was like, they're flying, they would chit chat up in the sky. But
But I'm like,
yes,
yeah, they've been X-Men for decades at this point. Like, of course
mhm.
they're close. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
And
and it's
and
just
they're like the two most powerful X-Men, truly. Like the two most
Omegas.
powerful. Yeah, they are. Whew.
they were. I think we mean they were. You know, having the storm.
Yeah.
Because they're not an X-Men
I don't
anymore.
I'm just refusing to believe that it exists. You're taking the best example of an X-Men. You're taking one of the best power sets and you're like, "Yep, writing her out of the series. I
We must
don't buy it. I don't buy that shit." You're taking your number 1. You're taking your number 1. What? Okay.
number one on the call sheet.
Yeah. Oh, I don't buy that for a freaking second. I
It
don't
bums
buy
me
that
out a little
shit.
bit. I will say that's one of my I wouldn't say it's a con of this episode, but I raised my eyebrow. I'm like, why are we doing this to Storm? And
Yes.
if I can have permission to go there for a second, it's always women.
Go.
It's always
Mhm.
female comic book characters that are
Get
depowered.
Cyclops. Get Cyclops
Yep.
the hell out of
Get
there.
get that goober ass bitch out of
He's
there.
yes. Nobody wants a
Give
cop
me
leading this
Storm.
shit. Yes. Exactly,
I
Brad. It's ridiculous. Get get him out of there. Nobody likes Cyclops. And then you meet people and they're like, "Oh, Cyclops my favorite X-Men." I don't think I've ever met a single person who's like, "Cyclops my favorite X-Men."
no, not favorite. That there's so many, and him, he just does one thing. But I will say, there's an effort I feel to make him interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
not in
not
this
Paul
episode.
Blart Mall Cop. That's who he is. Cyclops Paul Blart Mall Cop. Except he's not even funny like Kevin James. Kevin James is hilarious. If they had Kevin James as Cyclops, then maybe I would like Cyclops more.
You want Kevin James, the King of Queens, to be Cyclops.
Yeah.
All
Live
right.
action amongst cartoons like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Okay, we got to talk about Dr. Cooper. Dr. Cooper works for the UN, shows up, guns
Unannounced.
trained, unannounced, and after dinner. So rude. Like, telemarketers calling after dinner is one thing, but to show up with the fucking military with weapons, so rude.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unannounced.
unannounced. They want to take Magneto. And I don't think Magneto was any sexier when they were like, "Oh, these guns are immune to your powers," and he's like, "Are these helicopters?" Like turns the blades on
Oh
them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think he can get it. I think if I wasn't clear when I was explaining his cold shoulder, we were talking about his cold shoulder outfit. He looks great, and he's incredibly powerful. His hair is fantastic. And I think Dr. Cooper is an idiot. Like, call for it. I know we can't text because it's 1997, but like, you know, Send a message, girl. You're embarrassing yourself.
Beep them.
Yeah, call them, beep them if you want to reach them.
They got beepers. They need to dial 1-800. What? Oh, 1-800 call ATT.
They do need to call 1-800 call ATT. And listener, you better call 1-800. We're taking a break because we are, in fact, taking a break on Podcast 616. When we get back, we will talk about Magneto on trial, the executioner who took Storm's storminess away, and so much more. Oh, and also Jean's going to have a baby. It's all happening right here on Podcast 616. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Don Mike Mendoza, the host of Producing While Asian. Join us in Season 2 for more conversations with actors, artists, producers, and more from Broadway, Hollywood, and beyond, every other Wednesday on the Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
And we're back. William Woods, producer Michael, he did research on you. You actually stood trial before the UN, just like Magneto. Could you compare and contrast your time in front of the UN with Magneto's?
Yeah, they're actually very similar. Just the fact that they did give me a trial for my acts, because they said, yeah, this guy was the Waco of the 21st century. This guy really got nuts with his cult and stuff. And I was like, it's not a cult, it's a religion that I made up. And so in a lot of ways, similar to Magneto.
They went to the UN.
Yeah, I went straight to the UN. I was also very confused about who I was even talking to, because I know Magneto's up there and he's like, who are you? You have a Southern accent. You don't. Are you all from America? But this is the UN, because I had a feeling they were all from America. And I'm like, this is improper jury, mistrial, done. And that's what I claimed. I said mistrial. Done. Capiche?
She said mistrial. That did not happen for Magneto, unfortunately. Unfortunately, our good Braid buddies, the Friends of Humanity, showed up, and they were like, we want to fuck some shit up. This is great. I mean, I love it. I love this scene. I love that they were going to just kill Magneto because they knew he would be weakened without his powers. How did this trial work for y'all?
I think it was necessary. I think that I didn't understand why it was so hard for the X-Men to stop the insurrection when there was just a couple people with guns. Glad they got Magneto uncollared. That was nice. And I'm so happy Magneto took their ass to outer space. That was necessary. And the combo of steel beams being electrocuted, creating an electric cage system within a courthouse, that was amazing. That was absolutely incredible. Like, it just made me think about all of the flavor combinations that, speaking of delicious, all the flavor combinations of these mutant powers that you could get away with. And it just really got me thinking.
Dude, you're making me remember, we didn't talk about this in episode 1, but like there was that moment where Wolverine was like running to the Sentinel and Gambit jumped on his back and ignited his claws to like explode the Sentinel.
Skadoosh. Kung Fu Panda 4 in theaters still.
Have you seen it yet? I remember you were a big fan of.
No, I haven't seen it. There's been way too many good ones out. There's been way too many good ones. I'll see it. It's still in theaters. Okay. I'll see it.
Okay.
I did ask Damon. I did ask Damon to see Kung Fu Panda 4 with me, and he's like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trolling you because I remember we were in theaters to see The Boy and the Heron, and you asked me to see if I was seeing that. I was like, no, I don't really watch animation, but we were there to see The Boy and the Heron. You've been on this podcast for the What If series and now X-Men 97. But I swear I'm not really a big animation guy. I promise.
Yeah. No, the scene was absolutely amazing, and it was also necessary. I feel like it really turned the page for Magneto because, of course, I want him to be a good guy. Just like you were saying, he has the best powers. He's rocking his cold shoulder. He looks amazing, and he's just as powerful as Charles Xavier in his own way. And so it would be awesome if he's a good guy. And honestly, I'm totally on his side. I think I've technically always been on his side because just like he says in the trial, he was like, I've only ever acted in defense of my species or my race.
Right.
I've only ever defended them. I've never gone out of my way to do this. And yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully so. I would love to be a mutant. Are you kidding me? Humans just are so jealous. They're just so jealous.
Oh yeah.
And they're haters, honestly.
Everyone
Humans are jealous haters.
It's a short
That's
list,
really
but
what
it's-
Magneto was
but
trying to
it's-
say.
You're a hater. Get off my dick. Brad Johnson, talk to me about the biggest hater of them all, the Executioner. With his, was this kabuki or this bird mask thing he's wearing?
Hey, this he was just a goof ass. First, definitely jealous. First, without a doubt, a hater. I think we can all agree. Jealous because he doesn't have powers of his own, so he's got to have his little fancy guns to do what he needs to do. And honestly, a buzzkill.
Total
Yeah.
buzzkill. He shot Storm. What? Okay. Would you have taken that bullet for Magneto the way Storm did?
Ooh, I was thinking about that. I think Storm is just so altruistic.
Is Brad Storm? Yeah, is Brad Storm
can't-
in this situation, or does Brad have other powers?
I'm not
Let's say-
Storm. I have left already. Things got too hectic. I would have left the building. I would have gone down the
If you
street
were
to
just
get pot
Brad.
belly, and I would have been like, "This is too much." About a week,
Like,
and this
Look,
is there's already too much going on. I would have long since been gone. However,
You just-
I
yeah.
understand what Storm was doing. Like Storm being like thinking in that moment to be able to think of the greater good of this is what Xavier wanted.
Professor X.
Like, wow.
Yeah. This is his friend. Yeah, this is his friend. This is his lover. This is my mentor's lover. I will protect him with my life. It sucks for Storm to get shot by the Executioner, and Executioner sucks. Sorry, not to give away where I'm going with this podcast episode, but I think he sucks. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not a fan of his.
I mean, you did say no spoilers, so I think that I don't know. Maybe Michael needs to cut that out.
Michael, do what you want. You're a grown ass adult. What you shouldn't cut out is the birth.
Spoiler alert! I also think Executioner sucks.
There you have it. Also, the doctor at the hospital, he sucks too. A lot of men who suck in this episode.
Are
Jean
you
Grey.
kidding me? Yeah, can we just talk about this doctor? Damon, can we just please talk about this doctor?
Yeah, Jean Grey goes into labor, meets a doctor, refuses to deliver her baby. Go.
You took an oath as this doctor to serve and protect, or whatever the doctor's oath is, and you're given the
serve and protect.
opportunity. You're given the opportunity of a lifetime to give birth to a mutant. I'm sorry, but it's like just like Steve Irwin died doing a thing he loved, a doctor gets the chance to do something absolutely miraculous, and yeah, he can die doing it. Like I'm sorry, but not a real doctor. That's a fake ass doctor. Probably 3 kids in a trench coat.
A lab coat, please. I will counter. I hate not to be that guy, but to play devil's advocate, I understand what he's saying. It's dangerous to deliver a mutant baby because you don't know what if it's a baby Cyclops and like does laser eyes, as soon as he gets out of the womb, or has knives for limbs. Like you don't know what the thing's going to be.
Okay,
She's
but
what?
devil's advocate.
Yes,
Okay.
let's hear it, Brad.
2 non-mutants can have a mutant child, and mutants can have a human, a mortal, or whatever. What are Homo sapien? Whatever.
Yes.
Homo sapiens. Yeah.
So
Homo
if
superiors.
we're going by the logic of a mutant baby being dangerous, anyone could have a mutant baby. So he can't just pick
That's
and
true.
choose.
Oh my
Because
gosh,
Mrs.
that's
Gray just
so
walked
smart.
into his hospital.
That's so smart. And also here's the thing too, is like to play devil's advocate also on this, I'm just gonna say
devil's advocate.
yeah, devil's deviled egg advocate here. I'm just gonna say that like She is 10 centimeters dialed. Those pains that she's going through, she is ready to give birth. She is in the process of giving birth. So, do you want her mutant powers, which is a guaranteed mutant power, to go absolutely nuts because she's not being helped? Or do you want to help her and at least try to control her mutant powers while dealing with the birth of the baby? That hospital can get blown up Oklahoma City style. Like, let's just be real here. You know, that's devil's advocate. Boom, right there. Doctor's dumb as shit. 3 kids in a lab coat. But one of them's a Megamind, and he gets his brain stolen, and then Rogue becomes Megamind.
There's always a fucking Megamind. Yeah, so that's the solution, to have Rogue just like zap some doctor knowledge.
Which is so cool. I
Fucking
actually didn't
great.
know that Rogue can I know Rogue can steal like life force. She can steal powers. I didn't know that she can just straight up take people like, oh, you read Harry Potter, you read Chronicles of Narnia? Boom. What's that book about? Boom. You know?
Yeah, makes book reports very easy. You don't never have to read the book. It's like, oh, did you read the book? Oh. Thank you. And also, this is sweet. This is also sweet. Rogue delivered Jean's baby, you know? And Jean's like, oh my God, girl, I trust you. Like, oh my God.
I
the
felt
girls
that
are
pressure. I felt that pressure. Yeah. I felt the pressure. And I mean, talk about, this is the real superhero. And this is what makes the X-Men overall so much better than all the other superheroes, is because superheroes so often are by themselves, and it's an isolating journey where it's full of secrets, it's full of loneliness and despair. And at the end of the day, X-Men have each other's backs. They're going through all of this together, and they have each other's backs because they're in it together. And that's amazing.
Yes, very amazing. We love it. We also get Magneto in space, we talked about earlier. I love the line when he's like, he has the UN in this little magnetic bubble with like the Executioner floating in the background. He's like, he says
Also,
all this.
Executioner is scared shitless. Sorry, just have to say, Mr. Brave Man gets real scared real quick as soon as he's got a fear of heights for sure.
I mean, you know, these people are cowards. The Friends of Humanity are fucking cowards. But my favorite line after Magneto has his whole speech is like, "Don't make me let you down." It's like the double meeting where he's hovering them in space and could drop their asses.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great man. All right, so we go back to the X Mansion. Storm's gone. She writes a very well. Oh my God, Storm. She like the subtlety. I was not expecting this level of subtlety where there's like the lightning thunderstrike and she like jumps and she's like, oh shit, and she realizes she's never been afraid of thunder before because like she can always predict it. But now she's like, oh, I can't even. Like, I've never been afraid of lightning and thunder before, but now I am. So she bounces, writes a goodbye letter to the team.
Not to the team. To Jean.
To her sister.
She couldn't say goodbye to the team.
She gets a full, like, Meredith Grey monologue.
Mm-hmm.
While the characters are off doing their own thing. And I was like, oh, you don't see those anymore. Little Desperate Housewives, Grey's Anatomy throwback moment of the monologue. The monologue where that relates to everyone's particular goings on.
Yeah, somehow this is tied to like Wolverine and Morph and like Rogue and Gambit. It's like, huh, what was that? Storm new.
Oh my God. It's so true. Oh my God, that's so brilliant. Oh,
I love it.
And much like Nelly Furtado, she is a bird that needs to fly away.
Michael, I need you to send a police car to Brad's to have him arrested, please. Brad, don't go anywhere. We're sending the police. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm sweating. Oh my God.
And you think that's it. You think that's the end of the episode, but oh no, knock knock. Who's there? Jean Grey. But literally,
which is crazy because she's already there.
Jean Grey who? Like,
yeah.
2 Jeans, and she's like, I need the X-Men.
And and Cyclops is just like, oh brother. I'm like, oh what?
Hold it. We didn't even name their new son, Nathan Charles Summers.
Are we allowed to say what Nathan becomes? Because it's
we are not.
Amazing.
We are not.
I won't. I ain't gonna say.
I mean,
Bishop's in this.
I know. William. I know. And if you wanted to Google the name Nathan Charles Summers, you could see what happens with that baby. But we're not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But what we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about a little game called Fuck, Marry,
I
Kill.
love this. I love this one. Oh, I love this one. I love this one. I love it. I love it.
William Woods'
Especially-
his favorite game.
Especially 1/3 of it.
1/3 of it, yes.
Marriage. He's a
wait.
married man.
Oh, okay.
You got me.
Let's hope that's the answer. Fuck, Marry, Kill. But the way we do it for X-Men 97, we will only do characters once per season. So these are odd choices, but I think in the long run, these will be smarter. On the docket today, we've got the master of magnetism himself, Magneto, because how could you not? This was very much a Magneto episode. Dr. Cooper of the UN fame, who tried to arrest Magneto, blonde hair, glasses, can't forget her. And of course, the executioner who tried to take out Magneto, but was successful in taking out Storm. I will go first to give my guests time to think. I wonder who I'll kill. So hard. The executioner. Done. You toast. You fucking coward. What would I do to him? I would take Rogue's hand and put it on his head and just leave it there until he was sucked dry of life force. Waste of space, piece of garbage, trash human being. I'm disgusted that we're both humans. Anyway, he gone. My fuck would be, oh, this is gonna be dicey. I'm gonna fuck Magneto. I know. But like,
Do you? Because I'm thinking a lot of things right now, Damon. I mean, here's the thing: is like I think that when you talk about fuck, marry, kill, there's details involved.
yes.
And
Would you like to hear them?
yeah, I mean, at least for something.
I think Magneto looks like a thoughty little treat, little thirst trap for those shaking those shoulders around. Giant letter M. You think the M is for Mary, but no, it's for mate. We will mate once, and it'll be great. I am into a older zaddy type. Those that know me know this to be true. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. Sign me up for just one night, una noche. Absolutely. Which means I will marry Dr. Cooper. Here's the thing. I think Dr. Cooper is terrible at her job. And to me, that means she is not a very observant person. I'll be stepping out on that marriage every night. And I bet you Dr. Cooper is not going to be none the wiser. I will get away with everything. I'll be a terrible husband, but per the rules of this game, she can't divorce me. And we will not have intercourse. It'll be an arranged. We'll have an arrangement. Those are my answers. Let's go to William Woods, returning guest, please, to show Brad how we do it here. William Woods, who are your picks?
There's just nothing honorable about the executioner. Props to the show for making a bad guy so realistic. An animated series with very fictional characters with absolutely amazing and incredible and fantastical ideas, and to create a villain that is just so not relatable, but realistic to our day and age. And you're like, this is how people act. And the classic animated series did this very well too. But as an adult watching it, they did a great job, and it's more poignant than ever. And so we got to kill his ass. I'm going to go ahead and I truly want to put him on. I straight up want to put him on a cross, and I'm going to take his family, and I'm gonna bring his family over, and I'm gonna kill his family in front of him, and then I will also I'm gonna burn him alive in a video game. This is all in a video game, and we're just like little bits at a time.
Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean?
So we don't get in trouble on the podcast. So you can't hold this against me in court. I have been tried by the UN. So in a video game, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of gasoline on various parts of him, and I'm going to light him on fire a little bit at a time. And he's going to be begging to end it in a video game. Eventually the pain will reach high extremes, and that will happen. So Executioner's gone for me. Of course I'm going to have sex with Dr. Cooper. I'm sorry. Look, it's not like here's the thing is like, okay, obviously I am what I am, and I'm a man, and I see Dr. Cooper, and things happen. Okay, that's very little of me, and we're probably gonna meet in a hotel lobby bar, and I'm gonna be drinking some gin and
Probably.
tonics because I'm gonna be feeling like it's a gin and tonic kind of night, and she's gonna be drinking a dirty martini, and she's gonna be sucking the freaking jalapeno cream cheese out of those olives in all sorts of crazy ways because she's all about that vodka and olive lifestyle, and we're gonna have probably pretty weird, very. I'm not going to think it's boring, but like if you were to film it, if it was like on OnlyFans, people would be like, this shit boring. I want my money back because it's going to be missionary. It's not going to last long. I'm not going to be performing very well. And I am going to marry Magneto, but it's going to be like a Princess Irulan and Timothy Chalamet from Dune type marriage where this is like kind of political. Like,
so you can't remember Florence Pugh's name.
I know the characters of Dune, Damon. Princess Irulan, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya. These are all Dune characters.
Fine. Keep going.
And it's gonna be a marriage where it's probably not going to be on the best of terms, but we're both living very different lifestyles and we're very busy. We're very busy. He's Magneto. He's running like an entire country now. He's off doing his Magneto stuff, and he's off having fun with Damon, honestly. And I'm living my life. I'm working on my comedy career. I'm like headlining the Comedy Store. I'm doing, or maybe I'm a marine biologist and I'm a captain of a whale watching tour in Newport Beach. Maybe I'm doing that.
It really is one or the other. Also, thank you for giving permission for if Magneto was your husband that he could cheat on you with me, and that's real friendship.
It's fair. It's Tony Soprano rules, like a Carmela Tony Soprano rules for sure.
Carmela. Let's go to our own Carmela, Brad Johnson. What are your fuck, marry, kill picks?
I need to fuck the executioner. Oh, the minute executioner walked on stage, I said, who is that? Okay, no. Kill the executioner. Let's just get that out of the way. Damon, I think you and I are aligned on this. Maybe for slightly different reasons, though, because I would fuck Magneto because obviously that's a magnetic personality. That guy, he's there's of course. But I think I have to keep a distance from Magneto. I cannot be married to this person who's going to come home with this drama every single day of, I had to rip adamantium bones out of someone today. And I'm like, I do not have the capacity for whatever nonsense Magneto gets into on a daily basis to like pillow talk about all that. He's got to, Magneto's not, I don't think Magneto's in a place to have a partner. So I think Magneto needs to work on Magneto before they marry anyone. And I'm not going to be that person for him. So that all this to say, fuck Magneto. And then, which means we're going to marry Dr. Cooper, which, not I think more of a process of elimination sort of thing.
Exactly.
But I think, she probably has a high level job, probably has good money, probably has decent, I don't know, she's government, so I don't know if that's decent benefits, but probably at least gets paid decently well. She's probably busy, so we kind of have an arrangement of a marriage of like I get my own time. I get time to do, I've always wanted to, maybe do pottery, do like a kickball league. There's so many things that I would have time for because she's busy, doing government things, traveling all over. It would give me a lot of free time to work on myself.
She's bankrolling, yeah.
And everything she does is secret, so she can't come home and be like, "Oh man, I just had to do this." No, she's government.
It'd make you an accomplice. Yeah,
she can't talk about it.
I love it. It's very sensible, and I respect a sensible fuck, marry, kill answer. Last question for the pod: what would your mutant superpower be? Mine is, as always, whenever I am asked this question, the ability to walk through solid objects, face through walls, Kitty Pryde style. William Woods.
Telekinesis, 1000%. The options within telekinesis are I mean, just look at Jean Grey.
Which one?
Apparently, well, the one that apparently has a little bit of telepathy involved, but she's mainly telekinesis. She can move objects with her mind. That's like her primary. That's her primary is telekinesis, and you can make yourself fly with telekinesis. You can do all sorts of stuff. It is a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's not just brute force like Wolverine. Well, I guess you could kind of argue all of these are a little bit of a blessing and a curse, but with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that if I had telekinesis,
don't steal my line. You're gonna hear that later.
I think with telekinesis, the options are endless. Well, they do end, but I have plenty there, and I think I could do a lot of good in this world, especially with my friends, the X-Mans.
Lovely. Brad Johnson, your answer?
My mutant power would be everyone has to be my friend, but within when I want them to be my friend. So if I ask you to hang out, you immediately are down. You immediately want to hang out. But also when I want to have a chill night, you also are chill so that I don't have FOMO when I see your Insta stories.
So I think you're saying mind control. You want
very specific mind control.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also the power for there to be no traffic in my way ever, because I got places to be.
You're nice. Really?
Yeah, if everybody's your friend, then they can just clear the streets.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
true.
really a self-serving power list. Not really saving the world with those gifts, but you know what? That wasn't the question. No, forget it. It's great. We love it. That is the show. Thank you both so much for doing the show with me. This was, of course, X-Men 97, Mutant Liberation Begins. William Woods, where are you online? Do you have anything coming up? What's going on with you?
Oh yeah, check me out on Instagram, WolfLord5000, doing big things over there, creating a lot of stir on the internet. My account has definitely been shadow banned, but that's okay. If you like stuff that gets shadow banned, I'm on there. And of course, just check out Certified Cinephiles Tuesdays at 4 p.m. for the live stream. There's a lot of business going on in the chat. We review movies that the Hollywood elitist deep state deems as bad movies, and we're just here to get into the thick of it and the conspiracies behind why these movies are deemed bad. So check that out. And you can listen to our podcast everywhere podcasts are.
Lovely. Thank you, William. Every time you're on, I'm always wondering, will we be arrested? You keep me guessing. Brad Johnson, where can we find you?
Oh, I am Bradapalooza on Instagram and I guess Threads too, but that place is bleak, so don't bother. You can also you can see me playing the Traders Chicago in Wells Park next Saturday on April 27th.
Oh, nice. Hell yes. Lovely. This is Podcast 616. You can follow this podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Podcast 616 P3. That P3 stands for Press Play Podcast, which is the podcast network we are on right now, and they let me talk about X-Men 97 all the live long day. Producer Michael, if you want to hop on the mic real quick, what letter grade would you give this podcast episode?
I'll give you guys an A++. You guys did great.
Yes! I want that grade. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, William. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Magneto, and your very shapely shoulders. We'll be back next week to talk about that second Jean Grey and more of X-Men 97. This is Podcast 616. I'm David Royster, and remember that with great power comes even greater responsibility, William.
My bad.